everyone, it's Jena here, and today I'm designing for Bramble Fox. I'm going to be using some perspectives from the May Fox box and a few other items from the shop. So I'm going to be using the Me Time perspective from the May Fox box along with the coordinating clocks. And I'm going to use this to document a spa day I had early last year. So I've got a couple of photos here and a whole bunch of florals, and these are from the January 2022 Hip Kit Club Kit, and these are fussy cut from one of the papers and also in one of the floral ephemera packs as well. So I've just got a big pile of them on my desk, and I'm just going to pull some in to try and make up a few clusters to sort of 3 points around my photos. I did start this video off by using a compass and ruler. The ruler was just to mark the centre point on my page, and then from that I pulled out my compass to make an arch. I do come in shortly, I think off camera actually, and I just add a smaller arch within that too. Just going to find the midpoint just so I know how much sewing I need to add just in a moment. So I've got my photos here and I'm going to add them to some polka dot paper just as a photo mat, and I'm going to get those propped up on some adhesive foam squares shortly, just to raise those off the page. And then in just a moment I'm going to mark those out on my page and just sort of make a note of where I want those to sit. I've just got a pencil and I'm just going to draw around the edges just so that I can keep those in the same place. And I'm going to run my cardstock through my sewing machine just to add some machine stitching to those arcs that I drew at the start of my video. And for this I'm going to be using a light blue thread that coordinates very well with the colour of the perspectives. And then once that's done, I'm going to bring my photos back in and just align those to the pencil marks that I made earlier. And I'm just going to get those stuck down by taking the backs off that foam adhesive. I'm just going to erase the pencil marks left on the page. So I'm going to start bringing in my florals again. And just adding those as they were previously, although I do come in shortly and decide that I want to add a little bit of mixed media to my background, so I do end up taking them off again, but for the time being it's just to kind of see if I've got enough stitching on my page, and just trying to figure out sort of how best to basically make these clusters. So I'm just going to skip ahead in a moment just because we've already seen all this before, and we'll go straight ahead into some of the mixed media in just a moment. But I am going to add some white cardstock scraps just to the back of my perspectives, just so that they've got a solid background. And I'm just going to let those dry whilst I do my mixed media. So you can see on my desk I have a Distress Oxide ink, and that is a beautiful aqua shade in, I think it's called Salvaged Patina. It's really, really pretty, and I've not actually used it before, I don't think. But it's really, really lovely, and I thought it would go quite well with the colours in this layout. So I'm just going to dab that onto my acrylic block. I'm going to add some water, mix it out with a paintbrush, and then use a tiny bit of kitchen sponge just to apply that to my background. And again, I'm just going to put it in the same sort of 3 places that I had my floral clusters. And to be honest, I think actually you don't actually see a lot of this because it gets covered by the florals, but I do come in and add some splatters to those areas which are slightly more noticeable once everything is stuck down. I'll skip ahead in a minute so you can see everything stuck down once my mixed media has dried. And I'll come in and I'll start adding my perspectives to the page. So this Me Time piece I have raised up on some foam squares, just so that sits above my photos, which are already slightly raised. And then I've also raised up the other 2 clock pieces as well. I've also got these paper snips, and these are from sheet number 1. They've just got some really cute little phrases on, so I thought I would include those as well, as the colours work quite well with what I'm using today. And I think they just make quite a nice little addition. So I'm going to have a look through some of the other embellishments from this same kit. And there are a couple of chipboard pieces that I think work quite well. There's this purple heart, which I think says self-care or self-love or something, but I thought that worked quite well. And there's also a few tiny little hearts and flowers, which I contemplate putting on. But I think in the end I only maybe put a couple of flowers on, really small pieces, but I don't add much, to be fair. I think at this point I really can't make my mind up as to what I want to do, so I just keep going back and forth between all the different products. But I think eventually I do come to the conclusion that it's just a couple of flowers that I want to add. Right, okay, so now that they're on, I'm just going to add a couple more bits in. So I've added a purple flower to that left-hand cluster. And then I've also got a couple of perspectives from I think it's called the Flower Meadow pack. And these are just blue butterflies that I thought would go quite well. And then obviously I do add a few sequins as well. So I've got this quadrant mix, and this is just a cheapy one from the range, which got some nice blue shades in, and then I've got some translucent ones as well. I'm just going to start placing those around my page before I glue those in place. And I'm not too far from being finished now, but I did feel as though I just needed to add a couple more floral bits to the bottom parts of my outside clusters. So I'm just going to add some florals and some leaves into both sides. And again, just popping those up with some foam just to make sure that they've got a bit of dimension there too. I think that's almost me done now. The only thing that I do add is just a little bit of journaling just to the left hand side of my title, but I do that off camera, so you'll see that through on the final layer in just a moment. And here we are, here's the final layout. I've got some close-ups on the way as well, just showing you how lovely these products are. I will leave the links to everything that I've used in my description box if I can. And if you have got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. So I hope you have enjoyed watching today, and I really hope to see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching.